Welcome to You're Doing It Wrong, where I break down common exercise mistakes and show you the right way to perform these exercises. Today we're going to go through overhead pressing, and this is really going to apply to any overhead movement. The typical way people perform overhead presses, if Julian brings the dumbbells out to his shoulders, you go ahead and turn from the side here. What they usually do is go ahead and press overhead. Notice his rib cage is coming out. So a lot of people who have poor shoulder mechanics, they can't get into a proper overhead position. So in order to get into that position, they need to extend their rib cage. So actually put the dumbbells down for a sec. Put them down on the ground. And hold your arms straight up in front. So if Julian has his arms out, let's say I tested his overhead pressing mechanics or his shoulder range of motion, and this is where he's getting stuck. If I tested him here, and then I bring him into the gym and I say, now let's do some dumbbell overhead presses, he's gonna figure out a way to get his arms up to here, because holding the dumbbells out here in front of him is gonna be way too hard. So if he comes back to here, if he doesn't have the right shoulder range of motion, he's gonna have to get that range of motion from somewhere else. And where he's gonna get it is the spine by extending his rib cage out. So what we want to do, number one, if he's got faulty shoulder mechanics and he can't get into a good overhead position, we're not going to do overhead pressing. I would lower him down and do something where he's pressing a little bit more of a horizontal at a 45 degree, like a landmine press or even an incline bench press. But if he does have the right shoulder mechanics and mobility, he just doesn't know how to do it, we'll get him set up with dumbbells here. We're going to do the correct. And one of the easy cues that I'll give him is even before he presses, I want him to take a deep breath out and bring his rib cage down. So blow his air out, go ahead. He's gonna bring his rib cage down and lock it in, actually bring those down. So I don't want him to blow out while he's pressing them overhead. I want him to do that to get his rib cage locked in place. And now he's gonna go ahead and do his press up. And notice his arm is now in a straight line with his body. So we want his wrist, elbow, shoulder, all in a nice straight line with his hip, and his rib cage is down. So now you can relax. So now we've got him in good pressing mechanics. We've got everything in a nice straight line, and we brought that rib cage down so we're not putting extra stress into the spine. So instead of arching the back and getting the chest up, we're now bringing the rib cage into the right place and now using the right muscles to do the work. So anytime you're doing anything overhead, a great way to get yourself in the right position is if I'm here and I'm holding something overhead, take that deep, long breath out. That gets my rib cage set in place, and now I can brace my abs and maintain this position as I'm doing any of my pressing or any carrying overhead.